Since my last video on NBA 2K25, 2K has released a gameplay trailer along with 5 Courtside Reports, which are marketing breakdowns over the game's main new additions throughout different modes. I'll be going over them and adding my takes in this video. NBA 2K25 releases on September 6th for everyone, but if you pre-order the game you can play 2 days early on September 4th. I don't like this recent trend of sports games giving players early access for pre-ordering. A game should earn your purchase by actually releasing in a good state, not by preying on your fear of missing out. So I'd recommend waiting until the game officially releases and reviews come out before deciding if you want to buy it. Luckily, buying any version of the game gets you both the old gen and the current gen versions of 2K. But why is there even a PS4 2K25 at this point? College Football 25 and NHL 25 are PS5 and Xbox Series games only. Why not 2K? Why waste time and money working on the PS4 version of this game? It pains me to think about people buying VC on the PS4 version when they could just buy a PS5 if they save their money. I personally did not enjoy NBA 2K24. I liked 2K21 on next-gen consoles. I did not like the shooting in 2K22, so I barely played that game. But 2K23 reeled me back in with improved gameplay and the My Eras mode. 2K24 unfortunately didn't add nearly enough to justify a purchase coming from 2K23, and the game added a battle pass featuring premium My Team cards you could only get by paying extra for that pass. And they removed the auction house in My Team, removing one of the best ways to get cards for a good value without spending real money on packs. It was a player-ran economy that 2K removed from the game in an extremely greedy move so that they could have full control on card prices. NBA 2K has moved more and more towards using heavy microtransactions in this fully priced video game, and I felt like 2K24 was in an even more monetized state than even 2K18 was. It was the greediest 2K sports game of my lifetime. I gave it a not good review, specifically a 4 out of 10, and if not for my NBA and presentation improvements in that mode, it would have been even lower. It may seem like I'm harder on EA and Madden than I am on 2K, but that's mainly because Madden never earned its place at the top of its market. EA bought their way there by signing an exclusive deal with the NFL. NBA 2K has no exclusive NBA license. It genuinely beat out NBA Live for this position at the top. But since EA stopped working on NBA Live, 2K has gotten greedier and greedier. NBA Live 18 made NBA 2K18 look bad by letting you start your career as an 80 overall and not featuring as egregious microtransactions. And as a result, NBA 2K19 was a much better playing game with less predatory monetization. That was a direct result of competition. EA or another company needs to return to making basketball games, whether that means to make a college hoops title, or a new NBA Live, or even a new NBA Street with an online park focus to compete with 2K's park. Any of those would push 2K to do better because right now, they have no reason to go as hard as they used to. This is the only NBA game on the market, so 2K assumes it'll make enough money regardless. I will be reviewing NBA 2K25 upon release, and I will be brutally honest, so subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss that. Now, let's start by breaking down the new gameplay trailer. So we get to play like these NBA players. I feel like we got to play like them last year too, and every year before that. What they are trying to say is that they added 9,000 new animations to make every player feel more unique and true to life, which can only be a good thing for gameplay. But will it be noticeable? This is the pro play question. Is this a marketing gimmick like Boom Tech and Madden? Or will it be a generational step forward for gameplay? Why is Jamal Murray looking at us like that? Graphically, I don't think 2K looks special anymore. 2K21 on PS5 looks better than 2K24. I think NBA 2K14 looks better than 2K24. If the city is taking up so much of the game's memory that graphics, specifically lighting and reflections, are regressing, then the city needs to shrink down or be less prominent. The NBA part of 2K should be the focus. but because the microtransactions are found online, they prioritize Park and my team over the core NBA experience, which sucks for sim players. 5 years into 2K on PS5, we should be blown away by the visuals, but instead they have this dull, flat look. Skin and hardwood looks more like rubber than anything. How does NBA Live 19 still have better looking hardwood? Those dribble moves look solid, and more moves is cool and all, but 2K clearly prioritizes flashy dribble moves and stick skills over simulation NBA gameplay at this point. I want to hear about AI improvements to the 4 players outside of your control and the other team when playing my career games or offline my NBA games. These animations look nice so far, but I feel like I've seen that exact dunk animation numerous times in 2K already. We'll go over this more with the Courtside Report, but shooting with the stick has been redone, and according to Mike Wang, it has a higher ceiling than shooting with square, so competitive players will want to learn this mechanic. It sounds pretty similar to what EA was doing with NBA Elite 11 actually. I'll have to test it out extensively for my review of the game. User defense seems to be reworked. This trailer claims it'll be more skill-based with more accurate inputs. We'll see. So far, these changes sound like more animations, which they add every year, and improvements to gameplay, which they claim to do every year. Nothing groundbreaking, and this game could end up feeling more like a roster update than usual. But if these improvements are genuine steps forward, then the actual gameplay should be really solid. Is this marketing speak or signs of legit improvement? I will have to see for myself. What do you guys think about Klay Thompson this year? Is he washed, or is he ready to bounce back? Last time we saw him, he shot 0 for 10 in an elimination game. If he can bounce back, the Mavericks could be scary, but that's a big if. So that's pretty much it. The trailer does highlight gameplay tweaks and changes, but it doesn't actually show gameplay from a normal camera angle. Let's take a look at the Courtside Reports. According to the Gameplay Courtside Report, the new dribble engine is the most amazing upgrade 2K has had in 15 years. That is a bold claim. The 9,000 new animations include 1,500 new dribble animations, 1,100 signature shot animations, where most rostered NBA players will have their signature shot, and 1,300 new off-ball animations, including 150 signature motion styles. That sounds pretty impressive, but I will have to play the game myself, as I said already, to see if these new animations make the gameplay look noticeably more authentic. Apparently in previous 2Ks, dribble movement was manually programmed and pre-scripted, but now it's going to be less scripted and more user-controlled. Sounds like a solid step forward, if it's executed well. Personally, I think another great way to make the game more authentic is to get rid of the city, streamline the park to focus mostly on quickly hopping into games rather than walking around the map, and use those freed up resources to invest in the NBA part of the game more than anything. Presentation and graphics should be a major factor, not just new animations. There's no excuse for why NBA 2K14 should look more authentic graphically than a game that is over 10 years newer. 2K14 should not be relevant graphically in any way today. New shot animations for off-the-dribble shooting have been sourced from real NBA footage. It'll be interesting to see if sourcing animations from footage is as accurate looking as motion capture from real NBA players. The shot canceling feature sounds like the game is taking another step towards more user control. Being able to cancel any animation to seamlessly switch into another while shooting or finishing sounds really nice. The more user control, the better the game will play, especially online, although to a point. They addressed the shooting complaints from last year. Personally, I found shooting less fun than usual, as you had to green to make the shot, and the randomness of shooting from previous years felt missing. In real life, for example, you can chuck up a bad shot that's heavily contested and luck into making it sometimes. Shooting in 2K has been too user-controlled recently in my opinion, basically removing unexpected makes from the game. To be as simulation-like as possible, there has to be some randomness involved. I want to see shots bounce on the rim, and I don't want to know what's going to happen, like Kawhi Leonard's infamous game winner against the Sixers a few years ago. 2K is addressing shooting complaints by giving users more choice over shooting. You can choose a low-risk reward shooting profile that's more forgiving and won't need you to green to make a shot, and it focuses more on a player's shooting ratings than actual user skill. A mistimed shot could still go in, which is how 2K used to be. I will probably play on this profile, it seems the most sim-like to me. The other profile, high risk reward, will be more like last year, where you have to green or you miss, but you can make everything if you always green. Player ratings be damned. If you are a green bean machine online, this will be your best choice and it will raise your ceiling. This is the more skill-based option. Regardless of your pick, this seems like a pretty significant upgrade to shooting that should please two different groups of people. I like this a lot. Custom visual cues allow you to essentially create your own shooting meter. That's another nice addition. Pro Stick Rhythm Shooting is the new shooting mechanic using the Pro Stick, similar to NBA Elite 11. Usually to shoot with the stick in 2K, you hold it down and then release the stick to shoot. But now you swing the stick back up instead of simply releasing it to complete the shot motion. Having to move up instead of simply releasing the stick creates a lot more room for user control throughout the entire shot motion, which might be more challenging at first, but as Mike Wang has said, this will provide the greatest reward once you master it. And it makes sense, it's a similar motion to when you actually hold the ball and perform a real shot. At first I was feeling pretty skeptical, but all of this sounds really nice in theory. Letting players customize how they want NBA 2K25 to play best for them is awesome. Gameplay could be taking a huge step forward for everyone this year, but we will have to see if the execution is as good as the idea sounds. Finally, let's go over the AI adjustments. There's a new spacing engine, and players are more accurately sized compared to the floor. Improvements have been made to CPU players cutting to the basket, helping on defense, and overall aggressiveness depends on the difficulty level. This all sounds minor, but could be important, depending on, again, execution. The My Career Courtside Report goes over all the new changes to badges and build creation, things I'm not really an expert in since I rarely play online, so if you're curious about all that, I'm sure there are videos out there from other YouTubers who specialize in Park. Where I'm interested is the changes to My Career itself. This year, you play through 4 of the most pivotal games in your path to the NBA, which includes a showcase game, your high school championship, the FIBA World Cup, and an open run with NBA players that has narrative implications. You can skip these to go straight to online, but if you do complete them, you get a 5% My Points accelerator, which does give you an incentive to play them. Some interesting new additions here include jersey swaps after a game, a Hall of Fame jacket you can wear online if your player actually makes it to the Hall of Fame, Season XP is earned in NBA career games, which helps your progression across the entire game, and you can even play in full FIBA tournaments during the offseason with your player. These minor changes sound cool, but what I'm focused on is progression. Will it be easy enough to grind your player to a competitive level and have a fun NBA career without buying VC? Or is the game going to make your career suck in an attempt to push you towards buying VC? I will have to play to find out. For the game's franchise mode My NBA, there are some new changes as well. First, My GM returns as a separate game mode. Why was it removed in the first place? It seems no different than the original version of the mode, except now you can walk around your physical office, which might be cool, but also might be annoying and take up unnecessary resources. It sounds fun overall though, and I'm glad to see it return in full. No other sports game has a role-playing general manager specific mode like this. My NBA added a new era, the Curry era. Why? I feel like the LeBron era was fine, and you could still get a similar experience already starting in 2010. With this era you start in 2016, And it'll be fun, sure, but I wish resources went towards a Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain era with a black and white broadcast package. That would have been sick and a better use of a video game letting you replay history. You can technically go hop on NBA 2K17 if you want to play through the Curry era. There's no video game where you can play in Bill Russell's era, outside of a small game mode in NBA 2K12. There are some cool changes here overall, but I feel like 2K could have done more. The bubble should be a mandatory moment you play through in 2020. Why hasn't the bubble been replicated in any way in NBA 2K yet? That was a major moment in recent NBA history. Also, my eras came out in 2022. We should be able to choose any starting year at this point. And notice how they mentioned nothing about CPU logic within this mode when it comes to free agency and roster construction for AI-controlled teams. There are serious issues with contract logic, player development, draft class generation, and sim stats. These issues break the mode after a few seasons and haven't been addressed in years. I hope they have been, and 2K simply didn't announce it here, but it's not looking good. The mode has all the depth in the world, but that can be ruined by that poor CPU logic. Outside of my NBA, the W mode is adding press conferences and some new online features, making it a fun change of pace from the regular My Career. It's a less predatory career mode worth trying out, but the mode is becoming pretty deep, and I wonder if 2K is better off making a separate WNBA game at this point, freeing up resources for specifically NBA 2K, and maybe bundling it with NBA 2K if you pre-order the game. Currently, NBA 2K itself takes up so much space on your console. In my team, the auction house returns. This is great, but it never should have been removed. That was a really scummy decision by 2K last year, and it seems like they caved back in to the backlash. Let's hope it's here to stay, and 2K lets the prices be player-driven. The phrase, zero tolerance policy on activity detrimental to the health of the mode is concerning, because that could mean anything, such as you getting a nice card for a steal of a price. I will have to see this for myself. There is now an entire park for Triple Threat, further bloating up the size of this game and taking more resources away from the NBA part of the game and the graphics. I hope it's worth it. That's pretty much everything important that's been announced right before launch here with NBA 2K25. I will be reviewing the game when it comes out. Do you think these changes sound good? Or are you feeling skeptical? Or are you expecting more? Do you think NBA 2K25 will be a solid return to form for the series, or yet another disappointment? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.